Hello, everybody. It is Jam Happy Hour, the first summer edition of Thirsty Thursday. It's Thursday. Are you thirsty? If you are, pour up a glass, whether it's water or wine. Get yourself situated. We have a full hour of some really rad music from an amazing artist and goes by the name Tash Neal. It's like cash with a T, as he says.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sad we missed you last weekend, but we'll just have to get you back over to Napa pretty soon here.
Yeah, ASAP. ASAP. We'll have a wine tasting.
Yes, let's do it. Like nothing goes better with music than wine and vice versa.
I'm gonna go ahead and agree immediately on that.
Well, I'm really excited just to like get right into it. You want to just get us started with maybe a song or two?
I would love to. Let's just get right into it. I'll start off. Cheers.
I've always been lying, and the words were I never wanted to. It seems that the sun isn't shining, maybe now it's catching up to you. Now I think the time concealed is better done than time left alone. Between the dog you treat and the dog you bone. Think that the path it chose was better than the fork left in the road. Soon you'll find the focus mind, your only crime was not paying the toll. It seems that I've always been lying, and your words were I never wanted to. The sun isn't shining, but maybe now it's catching up to you. Maybe now, it seems that I've always been lying, and the words were I never wanted to. It seems that the sun isn't shining, but maybe now it's catching up to you. It seems that I've always been lying, and the words were I never wanted to. It seems that I've always been shining, but maybe now it's catching up to you.
Yes. Okay, that was Catching Up, and that's out right now, and the video just came out, but we're going to go into another one, which is an older single that came out sooner.
When the night it comes so easily, in the morning, oh no, it never ceases to seem like a dream. And I slow, I'll never let you go. You're all I'm dreaming of. Well, I do, you know I do it for a dream come true. And I know if I know what I really shouldn't show, is that the right way to? I don't need to say, you just forget about the negative. Ooh, but the reason why I'm mine, you know I've got the time to give. And I can see you turn the key and pour your heart and energy. The chain won't break eternally until the day you start to see, to see, to see. You fit me like a glove. You're the only one I'm dreaming of. Fit me like a glove. You're the only one I'm dreaming of. You said the word so slow, I'll never let you go. You're all I'm dreaming of. You said the word so slow, I'll never let you go. You're all I'm dreaming of. You fit me like a glove. You're the only one I'm dreaming of. You fit me like a glove. You're the only one I'm dreaming of. You fit me like a glove. You're the only one I'm dreaming of. You fit me like a glove. You're the only one I'm dreaming of. Ooh,
Love it. Thank you,
Yeah.
Tash Neal,
Yes.
everybody. Cash with a
Yes.
T. So thank you to everyone who's tuned in for Jam Happy Hour today, the very first Thirsty Thursday Jam Happy Hour show of summer. So very exciting. If you're just now joining us, we just heard two songs back to back. The first two that we heard today are both off of the latest, I think mid-March release,
Yes.
Charge It to the Game.
Charge It to the
And like, how would you prefer people find your music? I know it's on all the major platforms, but would you prefer they go through Bandcamp or through your site? Do you have merch?
Yes, definitely merch is important. But yeah, honestly, just find it, you know. just find it, you know. Just go and listen as many times, download, purchase, anything that you can do is great. I don't really, because it's all the differences are a bit marginal, if you will. So it's not, you know. I don't want to. Everyone has preferences to how they listen to music,
True.
so I let them do what they need to do and make it available on as many platforms as possible. You
I
know?
feel like there's such a strong divide. People have very strong opinions of like
Yeah.
Apple Music versus Spotify. Like
You see
the
how I tiptoed
aesthetic
around
value.
that? You
Yeah.
see how you know what I mean? I didn't want to.
It's funny though. It's almost the equivalent to just your cellular device. People are either just super
Android
pro, the green messages, or they're the blue messages.
If those green bubbles pop up, you're messing up the chat.
Yeah,
Screwing up the
know.
chat. So it's a mess.
So
No disrespect.
I know. I honestly, but it is true. It is.
Listen, I've been there. I've done it.
And it's
Hold
always
on.
like, I'm going to put it nicely, like the hardiest of personalities that are like so pro green message. They're like, I don't care. I am anti blue message. So
Yeah, it is. It does become a stance. It
Yeah.
certainly does become a standoff, and I appreciate that. I respect an opinion always. I
absolutely.
love it. I love to see it.
So those two we just heard, both produced by good old Dan.
Mr. Dan Auerbach.
I didn't want to
Auerbach.
pronounce it.
No, you nailed it.
Auerbach?
Yeah, nailed it. That's it.
Oh, okay. Woo.
That's it.
Shout out to Dan if you're
Shout out.
watching.
To be fair, though, he did not introduce himself that way. He wasn't like, I'm Dan Auerbach. He didn't say.
Oh my
That
god.
would have been awesome if he did, but he did not. Thank
And-
God.
Both of those, okay, so like Catching Up, we heard that first, and then Like a Glove. So both of those, basically, you release these videos, and they're really awesome. And I think all the people watching should, after the show, check out the videos at the YouTube
Nice.
channel. And I think we have the link, or it will be linked in the show,
Yes.
to get on over there and to watch, because I love watching the artist's interpretation of how they want people to visualize it. You know, it's like bringing a book to life in a movie form almost, when you have that music video, because you see how the author, the artist, wants to, you know, bring their perception of what they want people to visualize to life. And I think it's really cool.
Oh, it's super helpful and effective, especially on these specific songs in this album. I've never been able to quite be able to make videos that spoke so specifically to what I wanted it to be.
Yes.
So this was really thrilling. You know, all the videos on this album are super special and personal, important to me. So
Yeah.
it's exciting.
And you did a wonderful job, and I feel like the message behind just like being grateful for life in itself just really shines in this particular
Thanks.
release. And yeah, it's really awesome.
Yeah, I'm lucky. I'm a fortunate guy, you know. You
Yeah.
know, I'm very fortunate to be here, and that's what this album's about. It's about surviving and making it past, you know, life and death stuff. And,
Yeah.
and if you can make it, then you're doing great, you know.
Yeah. And you released Charge It to the Game like at that year mark after everything went to shit, basically.
Yeah.
And I think, you know, a lot of people, especially now that we've entered 2021, we're over halfway through it at this point, like we all want that connection and feeling of not being alone in our emotions. And
Right.
we've all lost something, whether it's a person or a connection or, you know, just our sense of normalcy. And I think that you really expressed the gratitude that we've all come to find in one way or another this past year and a half in a really
Well,
amazing way.
That means a lot, because I definitely, I feel, I was very, very, very grateful before this last year. And I think going through what I've been through prepared me in a way to kind of account for things during a stressful sort of once in a 100-year pandemic, and
Yeah.
and kind of still maintain that gratitude.
Right.
So, you know, I never really, if anything, I doubled down on that. I was just even more grateful. You lose things, but if I'm still here, you know, I've got people I care about, my loved ones. It's great.
Right. And on that note, I feel like I'm going to raise a glass right now because we are not in the 20th century Spanish
better go
influenza
You better
part
go
of
off.
life, because we're
Hey.
getting to do this concert and you're getting to entertain us all. Like, and I'm
Hey.
drinking wine. It's fine.
Yes, well, it's all good. It's
all
all
good.
good.
It's amazing. Cheers. All right.
Yes. Solid.
Before we get into another song on a lighter note, you're going to have to take another sip, though. What do you call a misbehaving glove?
I don't know. I do not know.
A bad mitten.
Well,
Yeah,
okay.
I know.
See, okay. Well, okay.
I know.
See,
This is
but-
why the sips are involved, because it makes it
Yeah,
easier.
no, I should, and now I screwed up. Now this is the after sip, because that was. Yeah.
Oh, I know.
No context for the game. Maybe if we'd mentioned dodgeball or anything like this, I would have said, all right.
I
fair
mean, you
enough.
just performed your last song. You just performed was Like a Glove.
Which I was going to say, I love a glove reference, but I said I didn't see badminton coming. I forgot. But fair enough.
It's a stretch. It's a stretch.
It was good though. Now I'm gonna wake up thinking about that and be like, this just said Badman. I can't
Well,
believe this.
everyone watching, if you missed his performance of Like a Glove or of Catching Up, make sure you download after on whatever platform. We're not going to get into those specifics anymore. But go to tashlive.com. Lots of info there, and we'll get into some giveaway info later on as well. That's super exciting. And yeah, we're approaching the first weekend of summer, so if you are in need of replenishing your cabinet in terms of the liquid diet, you know where to find us. If you don't, there it is. Right there. jamsellers.com/buy. Cheers, everyone, and let's get into another song. How you feeling?
Great.
Why let me need you closer, baby? Then we won't seem so far apart. You make it look so easy, baby. Much better off than how you start. They like it just because all I see is blood. Why can't you put your belly aching? So quick to survive the day. You make it seem so easy, baby, to go and throw your life away. They drag you through the mud. All I see is blood. Oh, so fast to say we love you. They all say we always knew you. I really wanna get up now with you. So quick to survive the day. You make it look so easy, baby, to go and throw your life away. They ask you just because all I see is blood. They drag you through the mud. All I see is blood.
Okay. Just a quick number. Just a quick number.
Dude, the vintagey sort of funky feel with such a like crazy story that you're telling through that song. It's so cool, honestly.
Thank
It's
you very kindly.
very punk rock of you.
Dude, yeah, I was feeling very punk rock angry at the time.
Yeah.
You know, it was a super helpful. The song's called "All I See Is Blood," and it was helpful to have the title because I really saw blood at the time. I was mad. I was angry, and the riff is angry, but
Yeah.
like you said, it's kind of funkadelic. I wanted to have like a heavy groove with it, you know. So
I love it.
That was the vibe.
And it's one of those cool things that transcends to people through lyrics, even though people are never going to be in your same shoes in that instance. Back in what, 2012 when it happened?
Yeah, 2012, yeah.
You know, like we've all had metaphorically, or for a lot of people, probably been in similar situations where it was actually an actual physical incident. And,
Right.
but we've all at some point in our lives experienced that, like seeing red, seeing blood,
Oh,
being
yeah.
angry, or being hurt physically or
Or
metaphorically.
emotionally, whatever it is, yeah. And
Exactly.
if you feel wronged or betrayed, you know, I feel like that's what this song is really about.
Yeah.
Yeah. But funnily enough, it's physically literal for me. as well.
Yeah. Well, and so you were saying like, you know, you saw blood in that instance, but then you were in a coma. I mean, you for months didn't have a portion of your fucking skull,
Yeah. Half of it.
but you had said at one point, like you kept feeling like you had, which is the worst feeling, like an eyelash in your eye,
Yes. Yeah.
and it was blood.
Thank you for knowing the story. I very much appreciate that. Not everybody does their homework, and I'm very thankful. But yeah, it was crazy because for a week, it was a wild experience. I was rubbing my eye very intensely, and I was like, you know, of all the things, what an odd, you know, you wake up, you're missing half your skull, you got a beard out of nowhere, everything's different. And you're like, well, now I got an eyelash in my eye. This is a pain.
Yeah.
And, but it's like, you know, below your top 10 problems. You know, it's not even the worst thing to deal with.
Right.
So I didn't want to complain about it, but I'm rubbing and rubbing and rubbing. And by the time I got to the hospital, I said, listen, I got to say something. And listen, I got this eyelash, but it's not physically coming out. I've tried rinsing it. I go to the eye doctor, and he's like, you're seeing blood. You got blood in your cornea. And I said, what? And he said, you know, you could operate if you want, but given what you've been through, do you really want to go under the knife? And I looked up at him and I said, no.
So
really,
what
Doc.
happened?
I still see blood.
Do you really? Mm-hmm. You have that eyelash feeling all the time.
Every day.
No.
I never go, yeah. And he said, well, he said up front, he said, you know, if it could be a couple of years, could be 10 years, could be forever. And it's been about 10 years almost. So we're still, but it's good. It still gives me that fuel I need for the song.
Wow.
It's all for the art.
You need to make like a follow-up version of
Oh, yeah.
All I See Is Blood. Like part 2, just all I still see is blood.
okay.
Or like I still only see blood.
I still only see blood last summer, part 2.
Yep. Exactly.
What are you waiting for?
Oh my gosh. Come on, cornea, get it together. Jeez.
Yeah. Listen, but I after the surgery, like you said, I had to have another brain surgery a couple months after that to get the skull put back in. So I said, you know what? I've got priorities here, and I'm gonna deal with that, and then I'll live with the blood. And I did. And I got a song out of it.
You did,
If
and
I
it's
didn't have
amazing.
that, I wouldn't have had the song. So it's great.
Yeah, you know, you win some, you lose some
Lose
sight,
some.
you know?
You lose
Or,
a skull,
I guess-
you win some.
Depends on, you know, it's kind of like the half empty, half full sort of thing. Like you gained a new version of sight, or you lost
right.
a little. I like to think of it as you gained
I think I
a
gained
new version.
I gained a bunch. I gained a new lease on life. I gained a new sight. I gained some whole album of songs. So it's pretty good.
Wait, Tash, okay, how do you, and honestly, everyone that's watching right now, I'm curious to know too, how do you count? Because, like on a hand, like when you're
Okay.
counting things off.
Yeah.
Because I think you were doing it differently than me.
It depends.
So
So
you-
if I'm doing like, oh man, like if I'm like holding
Just,
a guitar, 1,
like-
2, 3, 4,
Because I was
5.
noticing you started with your thumb, which I
Yeah.
always start with the index, and the thumb is last.
If I'm not holding a guitar,
Okay.
like if I'm by myself, this is a very important question actually.
It is.
If I'm like looking down, if I'm at the store,
Mm-hmm.
if I'm at the vocal, you know, 1, 2, because I don't want to screw up the count with the thumb. The thumb to me is a negligible count unless I'm holding something and therefore the thumb becomes a heavy 1 for me. Where I'm like 1, 2,
Okay.
3. Whereas if I don't have this, I can really focus on the thing. This is an hour-long conversation. We could do a whole episode.
The
on
reason
this.
I'm thinking of this, I literally cannot remember the name or even what movie at all it was, but it was someone was
Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
Yep. The basement scene. He did this
Yes,
instead of
exactly. Yes. Thank you. I was picturing Brad Pitt in my mind, but
He
thank
was
you.
there. He was there.
But
and who
yeah.
isn't? Everyone knows. Why not?
Yeah. So, love that. That's amazing. Okay. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in. This is how these the shows go like this, you know?
Right here.
It's
But
a
this
live
is
show.
Telekinesis as well. It's great.
What's your zodiac sign, Tash?
Aquarius.
Okay. I love it. So, are you the February or the January?
February. Groundhog's Day.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll ask you about that later.
I don't know.
But okay. Well, if you're an Aquarius watching, you've got a zodiac sign twin entertaining
right.
you. So shout out.
Was my moon rising?
I'll look it up. I'll get back.
Sorry, guys. I was asking my fiance what my moon rising was. She knows way more about this than I do. So.
Fiance, what is
She's
your
asking.
name and your sign? What's your name? What's
Her
your
name is
sign?
Chelsea. Her sign. Chelsea, what's her sign for the people?
I'm a Libra sun, Cancer moon, Pisces rising.
I'm Pisces rising.
She's Pisces rising. Sam's a Pisces rising. Yes.
My Venus is in Libra as well. Which
Her
is
Venus is
interesting.
in Libra.
But Virgo sun, Taurus moon.
I knew it.
I told you she knew.
I love. She knew?
Oh, just so she knows all this. She knows everything. I don't. I'm not.
Oh, girl, we gotta talk later.
She's gonna. You guys will conversate and do that.
Okay, yeah.
Perfect.
Touch.
All right. Okay. You want to do 2 songs back to back, Tash?
Let's do it. All right. Let's do it.
Can't describe when I look into your eyes and I see what is really the truth. Close my mind up until you put the signs up. Just spit, I wanna get next to you. Begging please as I fall down to my knees. Another bottle up and move through soon. Say goodbye as I look into the sky. I beg and I fall and I feel like I'm dying. Ooh, what can I keep me from off of my floor? I can deal with the pain when you say I'm the pain, and my heart is the same when the love is a golden man. Put my hands up, thinking I'm never giving up, but you can't seem to leave me alone. I'm the problem. I'm looking through the lives of the happy people living with their loving their own. Hell ain't nothing when you're coming on the scene and you just can't see the thing out to take out of the spell. Oh, my mind is just with me in the grinder, and you know you do it all so well. Ooh, what can I give me from off of my floor? I know that my body can take it more. I can deal with the pain when you say I'm the blame, and my heart is the same when the love is a broken man.
Boomerang. That song is out right now. And it's a video out. Shout out to Nate Ford who directed that. The great. And we were talking about good videos. Everyone should check out the lyric video for this song. I like Something Ain't Right.
Seen you do us like you do, and then you say it's not for you. I'm gonna change it if I wanted to. I know you've heard it all before, but you've opened up the door to deal with what we're going through. But it's all our fault. It's been like this forever, and here we are. We're supposed to live together, and all along you say it's all the same for everyone, for everyone. There's something ain't right. Another day in the night. I'm not treated like a chore. Life's not just like yours. If you feel me, someone testify. Though my father isn't here, I can hear this voice so clear. We've been doing this for years and years. If your freedoms were ignored and our wealth was never yours, you'd be playing on an equal field. But it's all our fault. It's been like this forever, and here we are. We're supposed to live together, and all along you say it's all the same for everyone, everyone. And all the money comes along, but this I was right and wrong. Oh, I hope the one that sees what it's like when we'll be free. Something ain't right. Another day in the night. Though you're treated like a chore, our lives matter just like yours. If you feel that someone testify. Something ain't right. Another day in the night. Though you're treated like a chore, our lives matter just like yours. If you feel that someone testify. Something ain't right. Another day in the night. Though you're treated like a chore, our lives matter just like yours. If you feel that someone testify.
Okay. It's a song. You listen. You get through it. You get through it. You get through it.
Tash Neal, everybody. Freaking amazing set so far. And if you haven't checked them out yet, we're linking it all over the course of, the next like half hour or so. So be sure you go to tashlive.com, check everything out over there. And I had mentioned earlier, for those of you who were tuned in a while back in the show, you have a giveaway that is currently live. Is it through YouTube?
It is through YouTube. Yes, go to the comment section of actually the first song I played tonight called "Catching Up" because I just released that video, and yeah, you can get some test pressings, man. The vinyl's back. We're doing it physical.
I love it.
Let's
Do you
go.
have, what kind of record player do you have?
Oh, I've got just a standard turntable. You know, I don't want to flex too heavy for cats. You know what I mean? I got to keep things under wraps, guys.
That's fair.
You can't give it all away.
You
Come
know,
on.
that is
What
fair.
this?
That's fair.
Mystery.
A little bit, yeah, a little bit of mystery.
The James Dean of vinyl over here.
I love it.
That's it.
No, you're the Tash Neal of vinyl.
Hey,
You're your
there you
own
go.
person.
There you go. There you go.
So we just heard a couple back to back, and they're both off of Charge It to the Game. For
That's right.
those of you who have not yet downloaded that new release, it came out March 12th, I believe, of this year. And both songs have really inspirational messages that are unique to Tash's situation, but also can transcend towards your own personal situations as well. But
Oh, yes.
the first of that two-peat set was Boomerang, which is the third track, I believe, off of that release.
Yes, 1,000,000,000%.
Perfect.
Nailed it.
And then we've got the intro song to that 11-part release, which was what you just played. But
Yeah.
I wanted to ask about Boomerang because you had mentioned in an interview at one point that Boomerang was kind of the riff I cannot talk specifically. This is what wine does when it's almost the weekend. So excuse me.
It's not Thursday.
Exactly. But it made you realize that riff specifically that you were really delving into these personal experiences and kind of exposing them and putting yourself out there through doing so.
Yeah, I mean, the funny thing about that tune was like a lot of times, actually, most of the songs are written on this guitar here. This is like my favorite, All I See Is Blood was written on this. Catching Up was probably written on this.
That's not the Gibson 335, is it?
It's not the Gibson
No.
334. That's hanging on the wall though. But
Okay.
this is like the first guitar I had. It's a Takamine Japanese guitar. So it's Japanese
Ooh.
wood. And it was like, I wanted an electric guitar when I was 13. My dad and mom got me this instead. They tricked me because it is acoustic electric, but it's still, I was a classical guitar player, so they didn't want me to go too rock and roll. So
Right,
they knew
right.
I really wanted to go for it, but they were like, yeah, almost. So they got me this in between thing here. And I was so upset, but I have written most of the songs ever on this. But Boomerang, specifically, I was at like my best friend's house, and this was like very soon after I got my plate put in to replace where half of my skull was taken out, and I was recovering, and we just got back on the road for a second, and I was home for a second. Went to his house, and he had a kind of mini practice Fender Strat, and I hadn't written anything, and I didn't know if I could write
Right.
songs. Like that was the thing that they'd said in the hospital. We don't, in terms of his capabilities, because of the brain injury, we don't know what's possible. Like, we don't know if he can remember songs, even, if he can play or anything like that. So I certainly questioned myself, can I be creative at all or in a way that was comparable to before? And so I had a lot of this stuff inside. I was going through it at the time. My father was, diagnosed with cancer at the time, so that was happening, and I hadn't expressed anything other than playing live and kind of, soloing it through that way. But I'm at my friend's house, and this riff came out, and I knew that it was different than all the other riffs from like the London Souls or just different kind of vibe. It was just kind of evolving. Which I felt like a lot of these riffs on this album were like. So I knew from that, I was like, oh, this is some different stuff. And it gave me a lot of hope, because I was like, oh, if I'm able to be creative in this way, then who knows, what the future holds.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like, because I don't know how long it was that you were in a coma, but did you, even like now, do you ever have flashbacks or like, I just always am very curious about that experience when you
Oh, yeah.
are there, and like a lot of people wonder, like did any revelations at all, life or musically?
Oh, completely. Yeah. I mean, that was how I was able to, even on a song like Boomerang or like a lot of these songs, is dealing with the relationship between life and death and all of that. And when I woke up, I was in a coma for about a little less than a week. Mm-hmm. When I came out of it, and when visiting hours are over and you're alone, yeah. I would have these memories, and so it occurred to me that I couldn't place it. I couldn't visualize these things. So yeah, it seemed like there was life after death, if that makes any sense. So
No, absolutely.
It was very soothing, I think, for most people to know that.
Absolutely.
But I heard another cat who I was sitting in on an interview, and this cat Wadeen, who started Rough Riders Records, which was DMX was on, he was in a coma for 3 months. And he had the same kind of memories I had, and we connected and talked about it, and we'd both been in a coma, so it was like, wow, if we can, confirm these things, then yeah, so it was,
It's so trippy. Oh,
but yeah, so that was a gift
yeah.
going through that gave.
Well, I feel like also probably experiencing that, you realize we know so little about, the plane that we know as our living world and everything around us here.
Yeah.
But there's so many other dimensions to everything, and I found a lot of comfort in that myself. I lost my mother to cancer, and I think, it is comforting to know that even though you can't text them or hug them, that they're
They're around.
around constantly.
No, I know they're around. Yeah.
Sometimes I'm
they're
like,
with you.
oh, can you just not be around for a sec in this moment, Mom? But
That's specifically when they're gonna be there, because
I
they know.
know.
Yeah, they know.
But
They definitely know.
I always talk in the present tense about my mom. I try to. So what is your dad's name?
Michael, which is my middle name.
Michael. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm going to cheers Michael, and then
Hey.
my
Cheers
mom
cheers
is
to Michael.
Donna.
Cheers to Donna.
Cheers to both of
Cheers
them.
to yes.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Love it.
I love that.
All right. So what song are we going to listen to next?
All right, we're gonna do another album cut. One of my favorites. We have a special guest on. Well, not live right now, but listen to the record. Eric Krasno is playing bass on this song. The great Eric Krasno from So Live and Lettuce and a million other things. But yeah, he's one of the greatest bass players. People don't even know how good he is at the bass. It's stupid how great he is. But yeah, luckily he played bass on this thing, and it's one of my favorite bass performances ever. It happens to be on this record, which I love. So please check that out. But I'm gonna
Make sure, if you're watching, go to that YouTube giveaway too, the vinyl giveaway.
right.
Check it
find
out.
a catching up video. Check it out. Get in the comments. Enter to win. Bucks.
Oh, Hannah, honey, you're on the loose. You got that Saturday swollen mood. But you don't hear me with hangers on. You keep on dragging you on and on. And my whole
independence.
Yes. Love it. Thank you.
So,
Tash
yeah.
Neal, everybody.
Right.
So that was song 6 of today's set. Song 7 of the newest release, which you gotta check out. And there's so many cool videos. Please check it out. And there's a giveaway, and it's really cool. So check that all out at the YouTube channel that is in the comments. It has been linked. But off the top of your head, do you know like the YouTube / it's not like a handle, but it's not like Instagram with a handle, but do you know if there's a
Oh, well, it's
certain-
my page. It's like Tash Neal. It's the Tash Neal Music page on the YouTube. I sound like a geriatric person who's close to death, frankly. You know, it's on their YouTubes. They've got the buttons and the likes.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm glad. Wait, can you repeat how you pronounce Button?
Button?
Okay, hold on. Let me grab. Hey, come
Now
here.
we're getting to the important
Come here. Can you do me a huge favor? This is the one. So he just
Oh my
pronounced
God.
the word Button. Can you say into this mic how you pronounce the word? And this is no joke.
It's button.
Wait a minute.
But
Hold
then, how do you pronounce our Chardonnay?
Butter.
But then, how do you pronounce the other word?
Button.
Say it closer. No, one more time for the people at home.
Button.
Is there a dash in between there?
I don't know. He's asking, is there a dash in between or what?
In between which one?
In
The
between.
butt and the
Button?
tongue. Yeah.
He said in between the butt and the ton.
Well,
Okay.
on
Oh, they're
Thursdays. No.
Hey, there you go.
Oh,
right.
jeez. Okay,
We're
goodbye.
we're having a good time. We're having a good time.
And this is a live show, everyone. Now, at least Irie, my coworker, she pronounces butter Chardonnay correctly, so that's good. And if you want to find,
Important.
you know, if you want to pronounce it butter Chardonnay, then you
Butter.
go for it.
I don't
know-
listen. If you listen, it's a little extra pep in your step.
Yeah, you know.
Little
Oh my, yeah.
extra
That,
butt in your butter.
the timing
turn
could
in
not
your
have been better. Could not have been butter. Love the Motown vibe going
Yes,
on with
thank you.
My One Mistake, but
to
you like when it comes to like the overall influence of a certain vibe, like the Motown or the soul, the funk, that's been very prevalent within this album release. Like you have said that it doesn't really coincide with the songwriting. That's its own sort of entity, separate
Yeah.
from, you know, all of the noise, I guess, the lyrics,
Right.
and then the vibe and the song itself, the tune is all
Oh, yeah.
different.
Yeah, because it's like you can feel. Okay, let me put it this way. If I were to play the song "Let's Dance," right, by David Bowie, just like by myself,
Yeah.
it wouldn't really. It would be cool, but the record is so cool that it creates a whole world and universe, right? The song is amazing because it's David Bowie's an incredible songwriter.
Yeah.
You can find the song within that world because you know the song. Let's dance. It's an iconic melody.
Right,
That's
right.
the brilliance that he. I just did a whole night on David Bowie last night actually. I do weekly concerts myself, so I did a Bowie retrospective, and so for songs, and my favorite quote about it is Neil Young's when you talk about the musician is you're inspired by the muse, right? So if you're gonna make a song, you could just go C G D and say,
Right.
you know, my baby likes sunflowers and she likes sun, like, but that's not helpful for anybody.
Yeah.
So you have to have something pure, right? Like something that comes out of you.
Right.
And then that's got to be good on one instrument. And then the funk will be after that, or the whatever the soul or country or the vibe, whatever it is. If it's 30s or ukulele, whatever, that should be after the song. The song is the crux and the soul of the expression of what you are trying to get across, right? So like, I think all good songs have that in common. It could be completely different sounding records, but the intent and where that intent came from feels, I think, consistently the same.
Yeah. And I'm sure like a lot of what you've picked up over the years and early on is thanks to your mom on piano, and then like shout out to Michael, multi-instrumentalist. Like
Shout out to Donna as well. I know she's out here.
yes,
Yeah,
they're out here.
they're out here. No, my
And-
parents, without my folks, I wouldn't have, I probably wouldn't, oh, obviously I wouldn't be here. Hold on. But, okay.
Technically, yes.
Science,
but we didn't
science,
ask
fine.
for this, but like,
But-
yes,
but-
yes.
okay. That aside, but the music stuff as well.
Yeah.
I couldn't have fared better
Mm-hmm.
in terms of talent. You know, my dad was unreal. I was tight, you know, right before he passed, because he was mainly a trumpet player. But you know, because of the cancer, you need that breath control. Kind of lost
Yeah.
the ability to practice. So this dude decides to get really good at the guitar, and I'm like, come on, man.
What?
I would come up and we would be jamming together, and I'm like, dude, seriously? You know I got to play
Wow.
this, right? And he was like,
That's really impressive.
And he
That
would
is-
smile and smirk, and I'm like, okay. This
Oh
guy.
my gosh. What, was he like a Gemini or a Leo or something?
His birthday was November 3rd. I'm not good.
Oh,
at signs.
snap. Scorpio.
Scorpio.
Oh, snap.
season.
Okay, Chelsea, like I
think
said,
you're a Scorpio moon.
I'm a Scorpio
I
moon.
gotta figure. I think.
Huh?
I
Fair
could
enough.
see that.
We have to call your mom.
Yeah, I'll figure.
Okay, well,
We're gonna knot together my birth chart and my.
I have, so I was going to say after the show, I'm going to like exchange information with you guys, and then I'm going to send you all the pages for all of like your parents and you
Oh,
and Chelsea
we're ready.
and her parents.
Yes,
Because
we're
I have a
ready.
birthday book with 2 pages per birthday.
Oh, we need it. Yes, let's go.
Love it. Okay. So we're going to head into these last 2 jams. Thank you to
Yeah.
everyone who's been jamming out with us during Jam Happy Hour today. I think the main message that we're taking from Tash tonight is just be grateful. We're all here and we're getting to experience life in itself.
Yes.
And
It's beautiful.
life is struggle and success, and
Yes.
and it's, you know, it's what it is. So
And it's
Cheers.
all beautiful. It's all beautiful. Yes.
all right.
Salute.
Salud.
Thanks again for having me. I very much appreciate it.
Thank you, Tash. Cash with a T, everybody. Check them out at the links.
In my thoughts, it's just the dreams that we seem to part with. Where were those facts that you said were real? Bye bye bones. You thought your spine was extraordinary. How could you know you never feel the same? I'm the man with thicker in the grease, and I won't be ready till I get the release. And I'm gonna keep running till I'm even the alarm go off. Oh, yeah.
time? Do we have time for one more? Do we have time for one more? I'm just gonna keep going because it seems like we do. It seems like we might. All right.
Come on, in the morning light. My mother said, when you're gonna get your life right. Mama dear, we're not the fortunate ones, but girls, they wanna have fun. Oh, girls, they wanna have fun. Phone rings in the middle of the night. My father says, what you gonna do with your life? Oh, daddy dear, you know you're still number one. But girls, they wanna have fun. Oh, girls, they wanna have. That's all they really want. It's so fun. When the working day is done, oh, girls, they wanna have fun. Oh, girls, they wanna have fun. Someone take a beautiful girl and hide her away from the rest of the world. I wanna be the one to walk in the sun. The girls, they wanna have fun. Oh, girls, they wanna have. That's all they really want. It's a fun when the working day is done. Oh, girls, they wanna have fun. Oh, girls, they wanna have fun. Oh, girls, they wanna have fun. Oh, girls, they wanna have fun.
That's all they really want.
They really do.
That's all they really want.
We only want to have fun. Shout out to Miss Lopper. We gotta stand that cover.
We always stand. We always stand.
And you did an amazing job, because that is a hard song to cover. I would
You have to
never
give it
try
together.
that. One last thing before we head on out of here, Tash. Like, this has been so much fun, and no pun intended. But question for you:
Yes.
grab the mug. So, singing in the shower. Speaking of fun, it's a lot of fun, right? Because, no one's judging you. And, if you have a terrible singing voice, such as myself, it's like, oh, whatever. And then you get soap in your mouth on accident when you're shampooing. Then it's a soap opera. The dramatics and all gets in your eye. Then you're not just seeing blood, you're seeing soap. Oh,
You
it's
said
crazy.
that's soap?
You're seeing
Opera.
soap.
That's heavy.
You're like, all I see is soap.
Listen. That is actually more painful than the blood that I see. To be fair, that would be a nightmare for me.
Well, speaking of being grateful for things in life, for all of you with regular corneas sitting at home, those of you that don't have dried blood in part of your cornea, be grateful for that.
Listen.
But
I got a song out of it again, so listen,
No, yeah.
we're all grateful for this. So.
And you know what? Let us
I
know
can
if
hear that.
you do have blood in your cornea, just like Tash, because I'm sure he would love to talk to you.
I would love a cornea sibling.
It'd be awesome.
Always.
All right. Well, I'm gonna give this last hurrah, last cheers. Shout out to Tash. Check him out. TashLive.com.
Cheers.
Cash with a T.
Thank you so much again for having me.